You know?
Over here from the Melbourne Ambulance Brigade, this evening where we have Mr. James McCulloch, who's our lead guitar player.
Welcome, Mr. McCulloch.
Hello there. And over here...
Yeah. This is the baby of the group, right?
He's the youngest, yeah.
Jimmy, you're about 21 or so.
I'm 22.
You're 22. Oh, he's older than I thought he was. It's deceptive. Absolutely. How old were you when the Beatles started?
I was about 12.
You were about 12. Did you remember them much? I mean, were you a big fan of theirs? Were you a big fan of Paul's?
Oh, maybe 3. Nah. Couldn't stand them, did you? No, I like the band. That was good. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
Jim's given us solid opinion.
That was
concerned, and I know, how many songs have you written with Paul, do you remember?
About half a song.
Just half a song, is that all?
Yeah, I do most of the writing, actually. Yeah. But everyone mucks in, you know. Jimmy's written, he wrote on Venus and Mars.
Jenny's written half a song.
Put it there,
Jenny's getting good. He's written half a song.
Mind you, you've been in the business 20 years. It should be good. I'm getting there. Slowly.
This is something you're mastering.
Something that she's called.
Thanks, lads.
I thought your tambourine work was tremendous.
Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. I said to her, do you want to come to another club? She said, yeah, okay. So we went down there. I mean, I have to admit it now.
That was just like that.
Yes, and then we got married, and with 3 kids later, here we are.
You told us you spent quite a bit of your time in Scotland, and you got the house in London. What's the year divide up into now? Is there much touring involved, or...?
Well, what we try to do is spend summer's pretty quiet time in the music business, you know, so we try and spend time up in Scotland in summer writing stuff and just cooling out and just getting things together, and then we normally come back down to London sort of at the end of the summer and start grafting.
You get very fit in Scotland. It's very outdoors. Paul shears the sheep. We round them up on horseback. It's a great life.
I was telling one of the newspaper lads the other day, we only just went over to electric clippers.
Electric clippers?
Yeah, I mean, the Aussies have been, well, they've been doing it now for a good 10 years. But we used to, until 2 years ago, I used to shear the sheep with the mate of mine who runs the farm. I used to shear them with the old hand clippers.
I find that incredible to believe, because they're the hardest things in the world to work.
But I think they're easier than the clippers than the electric. But, you know. It's only sometimes used the Hoover.
How much do you...
FBI.
You were very much a New York girl before this, weren't you?
Well, I lived in New York.
Yeah.
And so I come from New York, but I was never really New York. You know what I mean? I enjoy it because I'm falling in with the band.
And she's a good cook, so they like it.
She's a good cook.
After you leave Australia, the Japanese tour is off now,
Yeah, Japanese tour.
How do you feel about a thing like that? Because to me, if I may just say it, I think that's a totally ridiculous thing to cancel that tour for something that has got nothing to do with today or your present situation.
No, I think so too. I mean, the annoying thing really is the whole kind of thing, the whole affair is 2 years old. And in America, we made a lot of representations and stuff and said to the American government, you know, will you let us in? And they said...
Marijuana charge, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they said, yeah, okay, you know, you're a good boy now, and so that's okay. And so we were allowed in America and Australia. Really? However, in fact, the funny thing is, we had our visas for Japan. It's in the passport. It's there. It's stamped. But it's actually there's one man in Japan, the Minister of Justice, who hadn't actually approved it, and he's the man who's decided not to approve it. So he's a bit. He's no friend of mine. Whoa! I've got to you know, the first chance I get, I'll put him in. Hey, well, you know, he's eager, but he's not Scottish.
Well, we'll leave it on that. Japan's relationship with Scotland seems to be an end. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Mark.
Lovely to have you back in Australia. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Australian coppers.
We can talk Australian like that? No?
Goodbye, Mark, and all your viewers.
Goodbye, Mark.